Hear this.
Birdy num num. Birdy num num. Birdy num num.
What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of the Birdy Num Num podcast. Having a good year. I hope you guys are having a great year as well. Happy 2020 to the regular listeners. I am so happy to say. I checked the numbers, dude. We have been exploding in the last couple of weeks with this podcast. So thank you, dude. This is so awesome. I'm so glad so many of you are listening every week and getting straight to it. I want to talk for the first podcast of 2020, the new decade, the new millennium, for the 20-year-olds who were born in the year 2000. Listen up, and to everybody else, I want to talk about our toxic relationship with money. Okay. Now, this is something some of you who are routine to this podcast might know. I've talked about it before that, I was the only, or our family was probably one of the only poor Indian families in America, if you know what I mean. Like most of the people who came in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were like doctors and engineers, and they very quickly found their zone. Even the convenience store people, were making a lot of money. The ones who did typical gas station sort of business, everybody was killing it. But for some reason, whatever our circumstance, we had a tough time going at it. So for me, growing up, engineering, medicine, that sort of thing, all of that was a basis for my choices. And a lot of us in our culture, our society, we use money as a basis. Actually, we let money drive most of our decisions. And I would argue that most people who do engineering, medicine, science, those sorts of things, factory business, whatever, manufacturing, they do that for the exact same reason. So rather than letting money drive your decisions, I want to tell you, if you're like me and you have a very toxic relationship with money, don't let money drive your decisions. Please let money support your decisions, if you know what I mean. So let me just check my mic. Okay, good. So I have this problem all the time, where growing up, again, same thing. I was like, I'm going to do this engineering stuff because I want to get the house and I want to get the car and all those things because I didn't have those growing up. And it's a noble thing. We all want to take care of our families. We want to provide, but who knows where life takes you? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people who make money the forefront, who let money become the one thing that determines everything else. Those people wake up obviously at 30, 40, 50 when they realize, oh, even my friends who did do their own thing, whether it be acting or starting their own business or whatever, holy crap, they also have the car and the nice house. And oh, wow, they don't have to look at spreadsheets all day on stuff that they're not even interested in, but they found a way to do it, And people who kind of never question this, it's kind of like that person who, I'm sure we all have that friend who wants to get married and is way too desperate to get married, you know what I mean? Or to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, like the one who is if I just get married, if I just figure this stuff out, marriage will fix all my problems. No, bro, that's not how it works. Okay. And that's really selfish of you to think that somebody else is going to fix all your problems. Okay. Because somebody else is not Air India check-in counter saying, oh yeah, let the extra baggage just keep coming. I'll let it slide. We'll take care of you. Your family here. We got you. That's not how it works, man. Okay. So I feel we do the same thing with money. A lot of us think if I just make more money, because society has taught us that money is the end all be all. But unfortunately, I'm all for making money, dude. I'm all for having a comfortable life. But unfortunately, most of us look at it the wrong way, just like we look at marriage and sex the wrong way. And we don't realize, okay, that's one small part of life. But just like after you're done doing the do, you know what I mean? It's probably the last thing you want to think about for the next 1 hour, 2 hours. And as you get older, 5, 6, 10 hours, so, most of us have toxic relationships with money. And the ironic thing, just like with many toxic relationships, when if you're in a relationship and she's like, you don't love me. And you're like, yeah, I do. And she's like, you never show it. And you're like, oh my God, you're driving me crazy. I do it all the time. I just did these 50,000 other things. Or the person who's always trying to meet somebody or find somebody or and it's just not clicking for them. I was doing the same thing when it comes to money. Okay. When I was growing up, the whole toothpaste and the hotel soap and squeezing the last bit of shampoo out of the bottle and doing all that. This is the weird motion, but you know what I mean? We all had those sort of middle class values for sure, dude. Being humble, having humility, and just not wasting food and recognizing your parents had to go uphill to class both ways for some reason all the time is the common joke we've heard over the years, right? And so, unfortunately, those sorts of actions really affect us later in life. And I've just recently in my 30s now caught them where, like my mom is 72. All right. And she will, typical Delhiite family, yellow dal, rice. That's all it takes to make them happy. A little bit of pickle, you're good. That's like your freaking five course meal. I could take my mom for sushi, spend freaking $100, 5,000 rupees, and she will still want to have her yellow dal. And now it's like yellow dal with like a little bit of fried garlic and some fish. And I love it. But so this is the beauty of also having a weird relationship with money is just like in a weird relationship, you still appreciate the little victories and the small things, So I hear you, man. I'm not saying go have caviar, live in a yacht, do the Donald Trump life, because that is also extremely boring. But when we grow up with those values, that doesn't mean that, those are values to get you to a certain point, but inherently sticking to those values will probably prevent you from getting to where else you want to be. For example, why do so many middle-class people in America or India, they have the money. They wake up at 40 years old and they've got 1, 2, 3, 5 CR in the bank. They have the servants, or they have the marriage or the relationships or the affairs, or or the hobbies, golfing, whatever the hell, the Thailand trips, all that stuff. Like all these people do that because they're just looking for ways now to keep things interesting, right? Because obviously they're not getting it at work. So they realize now that I have the money, how can I have a more well-rounded life, And I don't blame them. Dude, if I didn't find comedy, I would for sure still be doing the IT life, and I loved it. I thought it was great. But I know in the evenings I'd be like wanting to take way more vacations than I am right now. And I'd be wanting to like do way more fun stuff. And I'd probably buy stuff I didn't need just because I had all that excess cash. But just like with alcohol, all right, just like with physical intimacy, just like obviously with marriage, we look at money the wrong way, dude. Okay, money is not something that is supposed to drive your decisions. It's supposed to support your decisions. And so if you are looking to go into a career, for example, okay, whatever career it might be, dude, if you're really good at something, you can make a lot of money. All right. So it's way more likely that you could be a very good social media marketer, or a very good marketing businessman, or a very good HR executive, or a very good restaurateur, with your college education, and way more satisfied and obviously a lot richer than had you just climbed the corporate ladder at the IT companies. All right. You could probably open up a bar, or you could, I'm just saying there's so many, I'm not saying you don't even have to do anything creative, but there's so many better ways to utilize your time. I know event managers here in Bangalore, ponytail, beard, going guys, whatever. And these guys are just killing it, man. Like they're making way more than anybody I know. And it's like, yeah, man, they took the risk, they took it early. They didn't let money drive what they were going to do, but obviously they were smart about it, and they made sure they were making 5K, 10K, 20K. And they kind of let things go. You know what I mean? So a lot of young people don't see it. But like, it's kind of, okay, back to that person. Sorry, I went off on a tangent already. That person who is always trying to like meet a girl or meet a guy, like both my wife and I and me, we both have friends, guys and girls, who are just like total train wrecks. And, we've both been there. But, total train wrecks when it comes to trying to meet somebody. And they put so much pressure on finding that person, analyzing that person, and asking a million questions. It just never happens. And then people are like, why are you so single? And they go into like a spiral. And me personally, when it came to money, I was the exact same way, bro. Okay, I was literally the exact same way. All I ever thought when I was younger was, need to make money, need to make money, need to make money. Where's, like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And I'll be honest, I'm not making as much right now as I would have had I still been working at Accenture, being a senior executive and just killing it with the stocks and stuff. But I'm making money, I'm doing well. I'm like, I'd obviously like to make a lot more. Duh. Honestly, who wouldn't, right? But I'm getting there. I'm learning a lot, and it's stuff that's very practical to me, and it's interesting to me, and I enjoy it. And that keeps me up. There goes the pronunciation. And that keeps me motivated to keep going at it. And you know what? The weird thing is, like, when we have those parents who want to like tell you not to waste your food because people are starving, or has anyone ever done this? Like, you'll try to book a flight, and there'll be one flight for $200, and there'll be another flight for $170, and naturally your cursor, your mouse, whatever, it goes directly to that, right? And you realize, oh, it's $30 cheaper because there's a freaking 6-hour layover versus a 30-minute or a 2-hour layover, whatever it is, right? And so you're like, oh yeah, I'll just roam around the airport because I still want to save. I don't want to waste that $30 or $50. Let's be honest. And I get it. But time is money too, is it not? You know what I mean? Like when my mom fights with the sabjiwala guy over when she fights with like the vegetable guy over like 10 rupees, I'm like, you're freaking 72 years old. Do you really want to waste the mental space and 30 minutes out of your day arguing over 10 rupees? Like, time is money too, right? And chances are, if you take that 6-hour layover, you're going to buy a freaking $7 coffee at the airport. You're going to walk around. You're going to waste time. You're not going to enjoy your vacation. Me personally, if I'm going to Phuket or Thailand or wherever, I'd like to get there right when I'm able to get the hotel room rather than later in the night. Like, why do we not focus? We just look at the numbers, unfortunately. We just look at the stats and we don't realize everything around that. There's so many intangibles when it comes time to money, like people who, I have tons of friends who worked in software, and especially in India, people change IT jobs, oh my God, all the time, and they don't even think about it. And what do? They will literally leave for another 10%. And if that 10% is like 1 lakh or $2,000, to a 20-year-old, I get it. It sounds like a lot of money. But now, are you going to drive further to work? Are you going to have a lot less time for your free hobbies in the evening? Are your coworkers going to be a lot worse? The quality of work going to be worse? Like, so many people don't think about this stuff, dude. And people who just follow money, to kind of wrap this up, if you see like a really good looking guy with like a 6-pack, which I don't even know if my abs exist. I've been dieting. I've been off alcohol for almost a year now and I'm still fat. So, or I still got this little uncle body thing, so like so many, those people who, oh man, my camera cut out right as I grabbed a big flab of paunch right here. So, those people who want the like really hot girl with the typical proportions or the really good looking guy with the 6-pack. And you're like, there's a lot more to that person than just that. You know what I mean? And as the old joke goes, nobody gets a 6-pack to share with one person. I don't think that, judging somebody or trying to be with somebody solely on the purpose of looks is really going to be a very high quality decision in the long term. Now, if you're lucky, and here is where the sort of relationship between money and my analogy with money and looks come in, trying to find something you're good at, find something you really want to do, find something you enjoy, and making a lot of money at it. That's kind of like finding the most gorgeous person you've ever seen and they're the most gorgeous human being you've ever known. You know what I mean? Like, they are not only amazing and good looking and they have a great smile and everything, but they also are just so decent and they have a good family. And I've met my soulmate too, guys, so I'm getting a little senti here, but you know what I mean? Like, they have the whole package. And just like that person is very hard to find. We all have our issues. Same thing. It's very hard, to find something you're really good at and that you can make a lot of money at. But like most marriages have a lot of trouble, most people also have a lot of trouble with their toxic relationship with money. And, my advice to you, as I say in many other podcasts here on the Birdy Num Num, just like I've said, there's a podcast on, it's so easy to do multiple things right now. You could have 6 careers out of your laptop. There's always time. If you have an hour on Instagram, you have an hour to go on Udemy and take courses and learn stuff and literally make the transition. Dude, I'm a stand-up comic, but I know freaking data warehousing from Accenture. I know analytics. I'm a freaking G. I'm a freaking boss when it comes to PowerPoint. And I know video editing and podcasting and freaking digital marketing and SEO and a bunch of other things. Like, there's so much stuff you can do. The only thing I don't know is Hindi, unfortunately. I got to figure that out. But like, there's so many things you can do. So my advice to anybody is sit back, relax. I promise you, it sounds so fluffy, you're not going to understand it, but the money will come if you stop putting so much pressure on yourself and the money. You know what I mean? So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts this week. I'm sorry I've been a little wishy-washy from the mic. I did record this earlier and then I realized my mic wasn't on. So this is actually take 2. But let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you so much for all the reviews, all the comments, and I hope you guys have a fantastic 2020. I've been Sanjay Manaktala. I will see you guys next week.
Birdy num num. Birdy num num. A birdie num num.